Hello everyone and welcome on into a new LEGO custom video. I know it's been a very long time since the last one and I keep promising time frames and upload schedules, but I find it much easier to produce content for Instagram than I do YouTube in both like the real format and just posting photos. Just because these videos require like a lot of figures to make them hit like a certain time mark. So I'll probably so I'll probably only post on here like when I have like a big group, like I've got my Legion of Doom wrapping up soon and I've started my X-Men project, so those will probably get YouTube videos, but all in all, like I probably won't post on here as much. I am trying to get content out in YouTube Shorts just for like little figure showcases. I might do like work in progress shots or something like that in there. But yeah, anyway, welcome on into this video. So today we're going to be looking at my my version of the Avengers, like my lineup and designs. So yeah, let's just dive on into it with our first Avenger. Speaking of the first Avenger, here we have Captain America. So for this figure, I sort of wanted to do like a sort of like just like a generic military outfit, mixing in aspects of different suits and like my own interpretation of some things. Not with this one particularly, but you'll see throughout like this showcase that I drawn big inspiration design-wise from the Ultimates. But yeah, bringing the figure in closer. So I've just used one of those Rebel Troop helmets. I've sanded down the sides. I just liked the visor that it had on it. I used this helmet in a few of my figures, but yeah, I just really like this like visor that's on there. Painted it in like a metallic, like gunmetal-y blue with some silver and white details on it. The head underneath is the Javelin Hawkman figure, and I just painted the chin strap in a brown just to make it look more like Cap, because I think the face works really well and it's got like a decent alternative expression for like angry posing. Moving into the torso, I sculpted both the chest and like some raised area on the torso itself, and I got some electrical tape in there so you can sort of see the 3D elements in there. I just wanted to like add just padding throughout there. Sculpted all the chest in with all the lines and everything. Electrical tape straps. I am working on getting a shield holder for his back, like working on a mag shield. But until then, he's just going to hold it. Sculpting for the shoulder pads as well. The shield is just the one from like Falcon and Winter Soldier, like the CMF one. Got the carved hollow studs for glove tops. Moving down to the belt, we have, like I just got like the Batman utility belt, but flipped around. I did it in sort of like a black and brown, like a weathered sort of look. The shoes are electrical tape, just to like give like that nice boot look. Just some stars on there. It's just like generic Lego City police legs. I just like the straps and the zippers and the knee pads it provided. But yeah, happy with how this guy turned out, and yeah, not much else to say about him. And yeah, let's move on to the next one, which will be Iron Man. Okay, here we have the Invincible Iron Man. As mentioned earlier, you can definitely tell the Ultimates inspiration with this one. I just really like the Ultimate suit with like that silver showing through. Like in the MCU, like my favorite suit was the one that was in Spider-Man Homecoming. I just really like the silver, red, and gold look to an Iron Man suit. But yeah, bringing the figure in closer, nearly all this figure is sculpted on. I got sculpting on the chest, the arms, the legs. The legs are extended and like sculpted in, so it had like a big foot look. The chest is, so the design for like the armor padding and stuff like that, I based on like Civil War era War Machine. Oh no, sorry, not Civil War. Endgame War Machine, before he, like, sort of that Iron Patriot War Machine, like before he was Iron Patriot, that big buff War Machine outfit that suit that he had. Yeah, the helmet's just the standard MCU one, but I added some raised elements on there and painted it up. Hollow studs just to make that armor have a different type of bulk. He does have an alternate head and hairpiece. Let's get that on. So I do have a Tony Stark, like, messy hair stubble look. The head is from a bootleg Mr. Fantastic figure. I just thought it looked nice for like a mix of comic book and Robert Downey for like a look for Tony. The hair is from a Luffy bootleg as well, and just like a bottle, because like I wanted to do like the whole alcoholism look for Tony sort of thing, like the Playboy, all that. Yeah, getting his helmet back on. Yep. So focus. Yeah, so I've got some like different blast effects and stuff like that to get some like different posing off with him, just for a bit of fun. Like these pieces just come from different anime bootleg figures, and just like the standard like blast effect pieces that Lego made just helps make the figure feel dynamic. But yeah, that's about it for this figure, so let's move on into Big Green himself. And here we have the Incredible Hulk. So this figure, I loved making it. It was a really fun challenge to try and get a bunch of different elements in. The base of the figure is using a semi-mid figure of Colossus that you can just find on any like bootleg Lego site. Yeah, it just has nice Lego proportions throughout it. Ooh. Have not opened that up since starting that figure. Chest of plastic. So bring the figure in. We have, yeah, so the thing I want to show off with this figure is I carved out holes in the side of the arms and got mech ball joint pins in there. And same thing with the arms, with like putting the ball joints in there. So he has a more dynamic range of movement in his arms, and it keeps that posability and lets me have the sculpted jeans around the edge without rubbing on that or any damage. And yeah, it just helps get some nicer poses off, some wider stances with the arms. The legs I cut and shortened myself, and I just have like E-tape wrapped around there to show like the ripped purple pants. The hairpiece came with the Colossus. All the muscle details, pants rip, all that's all sculpted by me. I wanted to make one of his arms like really big and disproportionate, because I wanted to make it look like when he turns into Hulk, like his skin just erupts with muscle, and just like there's no like rhyme or reason to it. It's just muscle developing on muscle, sort of like like the Meat Canyon animation of Sam Sulek, where he's like just grabs the kid and just like makes muscles appear. I sort of wanted to do that, where it's just when he gets angry, his skin just starts erupting with different muscles that don't even exist sometimes. So yeah, I wanted to represent that by just having his body be disproportionate in both, like with one arm being a lot bigger than the other one, and the other one hanging a lot lower. Still got all the posability in him. Can have him in fun running poses and stuff like that. But yeah, not much else to say about this figure. I'm just really happy with how he turned out. I wanted to go with like the green gray look for him instead of like the bright green, because I've always liked the more green, like gray sort of green compared to like the other ones. But yeah, that's all I can say about that one. Let's move on to the God of Thunder. And here he is, Thor Odinson. This figure was super simple to make. So what I've done with him is I've used the Whitebeard anime bootleg for both the arms and the torso piece. I just really like the bulkiness while still keeping it like in proportion to like a minifigure. I didn't like the look of the let me grab one. I didn't really like the look of this style of body for him, the Mr. Incredible sort of Thing style body. I just thought it felt too inhuman for him, so yeah, I much prefer this type of body for Thor. I've added some raised elements on the chest. I cut apart some of like these lightning effect pieces, like cut it into little slits, glued it on the torso. The bandage, I just sort of like wanted to make sort of like a withered like binding on his wrist. Since like the Ultimate Thor doesn't wear a cape usually or at all, like I still wanted to show that little bit of red in his costume, so I thought a nice like waist tie would be cool. This piece is just from like a Luffy minifigure as well. I've got him with the MCU Stormbreaker, just because I didn't have any Mjolnir pieces, and MCU Stormbreaker just looks so nice, and it fits well in proportion with this figure. The head is a Jason Momoa Aquaman head, but I went and carved some scarring into there, so you can sort of get it to focus. You can see that depth in the beard and stuff like that. I wanted to make it look like this is Thor after sort of Ragnarok, and those scars are from when he fought Fenrir. So yeah, it's like a giant wolf scratch on his face, which took one of his eyes, also making him look more like his dad. Extended the legs just so he had that bit of extra height when compared to, like, say, Captain America. Just wanted to make him that little bit more imposing, and he scales nicely with Hulk as well. Just get that nice height gradient between them. The legs I used as the base for that one is just Batflex legs, and I just extended the black lines around the sides and just gave him big tan boots. Figure is simple overall, so not much else to say about him. And let's move on to the smallest power couple in the MCU. Just realized I said MCU and not Marvel Comics, but that doesn't matter. I just got MCU on the brain. So here we've got my favorite figure, well, one of my favorite figures of this collection, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So this is the Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. I much prefer like Hank as Ant-Man over Scott, just because it's just what I grew up with, like watching Earth's Mightiest Heroes and stuff like that. He was just always who I saw as Ant-Man growing up. Like, Scott's really fun in the MCU, but I would have much rather have had more of Hank as Ant-Man. Like, had it start off as Hank and then move into Ant-Man and then have like a Yellow Jacket story with Hank as Yellow Jacket. But I digress. We'll talk about the figures. So, I'll do Ant-Man first. The helmet, I used the new CMF Space Racer helmet as the base. I got a Dremel and I carved out all of the bottom visor piece here and sort of carved it so it, using like this sort of helmet as a reference to try and get that same like visor look on it. Painted in the sides and just used standard Lego lever pieces as the antennae. I think it gives like a nice modern look while still being classic. And the design of the helmet, do a little spoiler for one of my next videos. Just give me 1 sec. If you've seen my shorts recently, you would have seen a Ultron Beta, like the Ultron Mark 1 and Hank figures before. But just as a little lore build, and I'll do another video in depth with him, but here's my Ultron figure real quick. I just wanted to do a side-by-side with the helmet. So I wanted it to be like when Hank first wanted to start making the Ultron project, because robotics weren't 100% his thing. He was more biomechanical and computer sciences, and Tony was way more into robotics and engineering. He got a bunch of old suits and damaged suits from Tony, and that's what parts he used to make Ultron Mark 1. So, like, a lot of the parts are very Iron Man, red and gold, like the damaged Iron Man helmet, and all that. But after Ultron gained sentience and all that, like, standard Age of Ultron stuff, and got nanotech, like liquid nanotech metals mixed with vibranium to make his skin. He wanted to resemble his father more, so the head that he decided to make for himself is reminiscent of his father's helmet, with the ears and the similar mouth design and top of the head piece. Like, I use the same helmet, but that's the in-universe explanation for the head choices for both of these. Getting back to Ant-Man, I wanted to do the red and blue design with the big circle in the middle of the chest. So I used the Daily Bugle Daredevil figure as a base for the torso, just because I liked the like hexagonal patterns in there. The belt is just like some random belt, I guess. Cut hands for the shoulder pads and knee pads, and the hollow studs for little circles on the boots and wrists. Electrical tape for the boots. But yeah, that's about all I can say for Ant-Man, so we'll bring Janet in here. Janet was hard to pick a design for, just because I wanted to do something where, because like I grew up watching like Smarties Heroes, like I said, so I wanted to do something that looked like that while also being similar to her classic design, and I also really like the more modern designs and the Ultimate designs, so I decided just to mash them all together, and this is what I came out with. Something that I wanted to have in the design was having this sort of W shape. I like putting them on my figures, like you would have noticed with my Invincible figures, like the Maulers had big M's on their chest, and I just try to, where possible, I like to just try and have a big initial on the figures, or like just show off, like my Plastic Man figure's got a giant like PM on his thing for Plastic Man. I just like when costumes do that, like Mr. Terrific has like a huge T on his chest. The Immortal's costume from Invincible is a giant eye, just stuff like that. Anyway, so I wanted to have like a nice W on there. This hairpiece is from Jujutsu Kaisen. It's Angel. I really liked the little curly bits and the bangs. It just looked so much like Janet's hair from like earlier comics. I've got the standard just like pointy shoulder pad piece. Her chest is sculpted. She's just using the mini skirt, and I've just got like an electrical tape lining on there. Nothing fancy on the legs, just using the like Harry Potter like little posable legs. I just wanted her to be a bit shorter than Hank. She's not younger than Hank, but she's just a short person. And yeah, that's about it. I have this little Anthony. Let me grab him. Have this little Anthony that I made. I didn't have the Lego ant piece, so I just used the Lego spider piece, and I just sort of bent the legs in and stuff because it still sort of represented looking like an ant. But yeah, that's about it for them. Let me grab everyone else back in here for final thoughts. That about wraps it up for this showcase. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, like I said in the intro, like I won't post on here frequently or make promises to post on here frequently, but I will still have YouTube content in both reels, shorts, and the occasional like showcase video. But it's just like when I have time or I'm in the mood to film something, just because it does take a bit of time to record all this and making of the figures and everything like that. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, got plenty more on my channel, you can check them out. Same thing on my Instagram if you want like more detailed pictures, more in-depth scene setting, stuff like that. That can all be found on my Instagram, same name. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, comment. If you want to see more of me when I eventually get more content out, consider subscribing. But yeah, that will be about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!